Da 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 da.
Hello and good morning, West Virginia. It's currently 8:42 a.m., 21st of July, year 2018. This morning we're going to be heading over to see our traveling anchor, Haley Myrup. She's going to be speaking live from Mannington, West Virginia about the pros and cons of methadone clinics. Stay tuned for more. Haley? Thank you, Gail, for that wonderful introduction. You are most certainly welcome. Today we're going to be talking about methadone. Most people do not understand what methadone is, what it is used for, nor its necessity. With drug usage on the rise, methadone has taken the spotlight as an indispensable measure of recovery for addicts, without the withdrawals that come from the detoxification. The research has shown that the implementation of methadone clinics is an effective solution to combat the ongoing war against the use of intravenous drugs. Haley, are you okay? Sorry, Gail, we were experiencing some technical difficulties outside, so we were actually invited inside by two of the residents here of the small town. Luckily, they've been so gracious enough as to let us report right here from their living room. The story goes on. Now, research has shown that the implementation of the methadone clinics is an effective solution to combat the ongoing war that is going against the use of intravenous drugs. The goal is to get drugs off the street and get people to stop using them, right? So it is an effective solution to combating the ongoing war, but at what cost, right? So while every movement made to resolve the drug problem that is ever prevalent in society's eyes is a step in the right direction, but the question must be asked, are we following the right path? Next up, we're going to be speaking to the two roommates that live in this house, Haley Myrup and Bailey Mygroup. Let's see what they have to say.
All right, before we jump into the pros and cons of it, we need to understand what a methadone clinic is, what it does, what its intent is, what its purpose, and the outcomes. First and foremost, a methadone clinic is a clinic established to dispense methadone-based substances to individuals that abuse heroin or other intravenous drugs. The methadone is used for long-term detoxification and withdrawal relief over an extended period of time. There are two main types of methadone clinics. There's the public and the private. While most attendees utilize these clinics for maintenance treatment, the end goal is to stop opioid cravings/withdrawals and get the user to cease drug usage altogether and work toward a more normal lifestyle. Dependency of opioids is actually considered a long-lasting, relapsing disorder that could lead to an increased rate of mortality. Now, patients with opioid dependency could benefit from treatments that involve close supervision and continuous care.
First things first, methadone is extremely effective in the beginning of treatment, but patients must be cautious and responsible with taking this kind of medication. Methadone is dispensed at methadone treatment clinics, and patients participate in either short or long-term programs. Originally, patients are required to arrive at the clinic for their dose of methadone, which is said to last anywhere between 24 and 36 hours, depending on the strength of the dose. After a time, the patient may be allowed to take a prescribed dose home to save a trip to the clinic. For this to happen, the patient must pass a urinalysis to prove they are not actively using heroin or other substances on the side. Now, in some states, there are several methadone clinics readily available for public utilization, such as California or New York. In other states, there may be only a few clinics or none at all. This poses a logistical impediment for users that want to seek treatment. For the states with few or none, the closest clinic may be 500 miles away. Who has time to drive that far weekly or even monthly? If there is to be a solution for users attempting to stop their habit, methadone clinics should be more readily accessible across all 50 states. The biggest question standing is simple and straight to the point. Does methadone work effectively? As in, does it keep people off the drugs? Does it decrease overdoses? Does it decline the rate of mortality? All methadone clinics have their perks. What are the outcomes of the good intentions? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, heroin deaths in West Virginia surpassed gun homicides for the first time in 2016. Unfortunately, it is common knowledge that drug addiction is on the rise across the United States, but West Virginia is among the worst. The state has been experiencing a drastic public health epidemic of drug-related overdoses for the past decade. Since 2015, West Virginia's overdose rate of 35.5, as compared to the United States rate of 14.7 per 100,000 people, is twice as high. West Virginia's rate is also over a third higher than the second highest state, Kentucky. Of the deaths recorded from 2001 through 2005, 6,001 involved opioids. Since the introduction of methadone clinics in West Virginia, there has been a drastic decrease in overdose deaths due to intravenous drug usage, but an increase of treatment-based overdoses because of this controlled substance.
So the problem with methadone is that it basically works too well. You have somebody that comes in and seeking treatment and everything, and then you start them on a certain dose, and you build them up. But a lot of these maintenance programs do not have a mandatory taper off of the drug. And then doctors will prescribe different types of other drugs to help you wean off of the methadone opioid. It seems to keep them from their entire purpose that they're striving for. The end goal is sobriety. But how can you reach that if you're addicted to yet another substance that is supposed to be helping them? So I just had some final thoughts on this whole pros and cons of the methadone clinic topic. It's so controversial, and it's really hard to pinpoint where the problem is, because I feel like there's just a bunch of little problems that are building up and causing all of these issues. Methadone has the potential to be great. It has the potential to fix so many problems. It has the potential to help so many people in the hardest parts of their lives, right? And I think that's what frustrates me the most, is that we have something that could potentially be so great and so wonderful and just a way out for so many people, but then we haven't perfected it down to the point of 100% success. And I know that it's really hard to achieve the 100%, but it should always be a goal, always. And I'd like to sit here and tell you that I have all the answers that would fix this program and all of the other programs out there that are flawed in some kind of way, but I don't. And I hope that it just really helps open the eyes of the people that are oblivious to this issue and maybe get them to start thinking that, wow, maybe I could come up with a change that could perfect what we already have in place.